Hello everyone, welcome back to another week of RotterdaM University. I'm going to check if the microphones are alright, but I think they're alright.
Check.
Carmac, we have a lot to talk about this week, so we're going to wrap up everything rather fast, because we have a lot to announce and lots of things to show, and of course we have a lot of things to teach you.
Hell yes. Hell yes. Although I am predicting that I might pop into Platinum fairly relatively soon, but let's skip my laddering for a while. What do we have to do? We have to announce the winners of last week's competitions.
Yeah, exactly. Last week we announced that one of the viewers could win this one, the Jim Raynor Noob. All you had to do was comment on our Facebook page, RotterdaM University, and just have to announce something that you really liked, either an extremely good play or an extreme fail. So we're going to announce the winner of this one, and of course we're also going to announce the winner of the Marauder keyboard, the Specs mouse, and the Benchy headset, which is quite a nice prize actually.
Yeah, I have to say that we've got some good stuff from Razer. Hopefully we will have more sponsors for the show to give good stuff away to our community. So far Blizzard has provided 3 of these. One of these will be going out tomorrow per mail to the winner.
Yep. Yeah, we will announce the winners like really soon, but let's just talk about the other stuff we're going to announce as well.
I promised actually one of my classic Atlantic stupid interviews with people where I pretend that I don't speak any English and try to interview people.
Really?
Yeah, I did, but because we have finalized the names of the Korean invitees for the Intel Extreme Masters World Championship, we're going to skip 1 week. Next week I'm going to show you 2 of these videos. This week we're just going to focus on the Intel Extreme Masters.
Oh, I knew you had an interview. I didn't know it was a funny one. All right, that looks fun. That's going to be fun. But yeah, indeed, we're going to announce the Korean invites, or at least people who lived in Korea, who are going to participate in IEM. So that's definitely it's going to be very interesting. Of course, I had some influence in that as well. I mean, I was involved in the process, no? And other than that, of course, I'm going to teach Carmac a few things. I really had lots of comments, like every time I log in on Battle.net or on community sites where I have accounts, people sending me suggestions to make you better, and just in general, they like the show, which is really fun. I really appreciate it a lot, guys. So indeed, I did take a look in that, and of course I take all the advice of you guys as well. I mean, it's not easy to always look in your mind like, what should I teach you right now? So it's really nice to hear it from different directions.
Yep.
So for today, we are gonna focus on strategies. What some people said. Some people said that I tried to teach you too advanced stuff for the level you are right now. Actually, I did sort of try to build it up in a way. I like to float you and let you float your own boat a little bit, like walk your own street.
Let's put it this way: I'm ambitious. I want to try to take in as much as I want. Maybe the effect is sometimes catastrophic, but hey, that's why we are here, just to humiliate me in public. So I appreciate as well, I've been getting a lot of comments, tips on how to improve, what to do, how to do it and stuff. I really appreciate every single one of them. I was also recognized a couple of times on Battle.net. A guy was like, "Oh dude, I just finished watching the VOD LOL," and stuff like that. So
did you win?
Actually, yes. I think it gets them. It gets them scared. If they meet me, they're afraid they're going to end up on the show, and you might just. Okay,
but that's not all. We're also going to have a show match of you, which we announced last week against your friend Phil from Fnatic. Am I correct?
Yeah, the editor-in-chief of Fnatic.com, Phil.
All right. Well, that's fairly fun too.
He's a gold leaguer, and I can't wait to kick his butt.
And of course, if we have time, we're also going to watch. We're going to let him play 1 or 2 ladder games, and we're going to analyze replays. But that all depends on the time and how fast things go. So I'd say let's start at the start, and that is let's announce the winner of this competition.
Yep, winner of this competition is, I actually don't know, because that's Kevin's job.
I like the comment from Marius Baumann a lot, who made a GIF, a small GIF, from probably the worst EMP in history. I'm just going to show you guys. I can actually show you. I did not think of it. But this truly was the worst EMP in history. It was during the East relegation zone for the German EPS League. You're going to see it once more. You see the German army, the Protoss army leaving. Here comes the ghost. Oh, a little too late. It could happen to any one of us, Carmac.
Well, I've never done it this way, to be honest.
I'm not going to say that my storms are always good, but I think they are a little better than this EMP. So, Marius... Did I switch back? Yes, I did. So, Marius Baumann, I hope you enjoyed the Jim Raynor Noob. I think it was really well deserved. The second prize is the Marauder keyboard, mousepad, and the Benchy headset, which is really quite a big prize. It's an entire gaming set. Should be
from StarCraft 2.
Yep.
The lights light up depending on your APM, and basically some alerts in the game. It also flashes. So who wins that?
The winner is Casper Sant. I don't know where he's from. We're gonna announce you. We're gonna contact you winners over Facebook. So just keep a close eye on Facebook. But the moment that he basically really liked, or where he was really impressed, was during the last IEM Europe, the Continental Finals between the Muslim and Wydra, where the Muslim made quite a big attack on Wydra. I was one of the commentators that game. I'm not sure with who it was, but I was like, how many probes is Wydra gonna pull to fight this off? Because there really were quite some SCVs as well. Wydra just kept his head cool, just wiped in a few units, got a perfect spot with sentries. Not a single one, like just absolutely flawless defense, which I really thought was impossible. That I thought he was forced to pull probes. So yeah, Casper, hope you really enjoy this awesome keyboard, which is really nice. I enjoy it a lot, and yeah, I hope you can get your APM up so you can get all the fancy colors. All right.
So let's talk about the Intel Extreme Masters World Championship. That's pretty much almost 1 week away. It starts Tuesday, and we've had a score of absolutely fantastic players. You can check it up on www.intelextrememasters.com. We've got, just to remind you, Morrow qualified, winner of the Intel Extreme Masters Global Challenge in Cologne. QXC and Phoenix, the top two of the Intel Extreme Masters American Championship from New York City. And then we've got the Muslim Show, White Ryan Tarson, the top four of the Intel Extreme Masters European Championship, the winner of the Southeast Asian qualifier, the Australian player Moonglade, plus 4 spots that we take, not Koreans necessarily, but players that reside in Korea during the season of the Intel Extreme Masters, the invites.
All right.
So
well, this is your part, Carmac, so I'm just gonna let you talk. You're the IEM project manager, so you just tell us why basically you decided to invite these players, and who, obviously who.
So unfortunately, due to a scheduling conflict, we were unable to invite the Code S players. That participate in the GSL in the same week as the Intel Extreme Masters World Championship. That was very unfortunate. But one of the players that we are inviting is a Protoss player from Team Startail. Can you guess who that is? You probably know who that is, so that's not really... That would be the Pokemon player. That would be Squirtle. So I'm pretty sure we've made a couple of nerds smile at home.
Yeah, he did really well in the team league, I believe. He made a couple of really impressive games, and I think he's one of the main contenders this season to go from Code A to Code S.
And the other player is his teammate. That would be Ace, also a Protoss player, also Code A player. By the way, GSL has been so nice as to make it possible for these players to attend, because they did have to reschedule the Code A games for Moonglade as well. So these two Startail players are coming. And then one of the people who is a legend of his own, although he's not a Code S player yet, that would be this baller right here. I'm not sure you can see, so I'm going to take just another picture of him.
Well, of course.
That's Jang Jeho. That is the 5th race of Warcraft 3.
Oh, maybe of StarCraft 2 as well in the future, but of course, yeah. Spirit Moon currently playing StarCraft 2. I do believe he would play some Warcraft as well if he would get invited to a certain tournament. But for now, he's totally focused on StarCraft 2, and I really look forward to seeing Moon. I saw some of his games in StarCraft 2. He's sort of still a little bit unstable. Like, he does really cool stuff, but sometimes I feel that he wants to make it a little bit too complicated. But nevertheless, I'm gonna see Moon at the global finals, and I think it's gonna be really cool.
Yep, and the last player to complete the Intel Extreme Masters World Championship top 12, that would be everyone's favorite or everyone's least favorite.
Nah, the favorite, the Kraken.
That would be the Kraken. Greg Idra feels that those 4 players will complete the top 12 of the Intel Extreme Masters World Championship. That's, of course, going to be in Hanover on March 1st to March 5th. And that's Tuesday to Saturday. It's going to be absolutely epic. I'm probably allowed to say that we are streaming in over 5 different languages for this tournament. That will be English, Chinese, Polish, Russian, German, and Swedish. That's 6, and we're working on
over 5, so that's okay.
Yep, that's over 5. Lots of channels. We're going to be streaming in high definition. And that package is actually worth more than food. Rotti will be able to tell you something about that probably around tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. There's a, just go to www.esl-tv. We are streaming in 720p, I believe, and if you're going to see it actually, then it's going to be full HD on the projector. So hopefully it will be absolutely epic.
Yep, so 2 Zerg invites and 2 Protoss invite. All Terran players, don't be too sad though, because we already have quite some Terran players, as you mentioned before. Phoenix, QXC, the Muslim Show, and Tarzan should be more than enough Terran happiness in general. Now, I really look forward to this event, of course. I will be one of the shoutcasters together with Day9, the one and only, I would almost say, and Dario Woons, also known as TLO, which is, I think it's going to be an amazing show, but it would go really weird if it's not going to be an amazing show, no?
And if you've only just tuned in and missed the news is live on www.intelextrememasters.com. That's obviously where you get all the information about the tournament. Prize money, obviously, $30,000. And it's going to be absolutely amazing. And by the way, TLO, Rotterdam, Day 9. What an epic set of commentators.
Yeah, definitely. I would almost say we could all play in it, but then I might give myself a little bit too much credit. Just a little bit. All right. Anyway, guys, I think we pretty much skipped through the news. You're going to play. Your friend is already waiting. So Carmac is going to wait on his friend, but obviously what some people told me last week, after last week's show, they said like, Rotti, I really enjoyed the show, blah, blah. But I think what you should focus on with Carmac is give him like 1 or 2 strategies that he should really, really focus on. Which is definitely true. And we already said in the first show, we want to try to make Carmac learn as many strategies as possible, not like let him only 4-gate, let him only like rush to DTs or whatsoever. So we did try to mix it up, but I do agree with people that in general you should be able to at least focus like to be able to execute 1 or 2 strategies.
To have a base.
Yeah,
to have a base to.
Yep, because there are so many different ways anyway to play like a certain strat. Everyone has their own variation. Even a basic strategy like 4-gate, you can execute it in so many ways. Sure, one would say like, well, just download Hox Replay. There's probably no one who can better 4-gate than one of the best Protoss in the world, which might be true, but nevertheless, there are always ways that you can edit your style, and always there is a difference. Like if you want to 4-gate all in, or 4-gate just to put a hell of a lot of pressure, and then meanwhile expand, like something we saw Adelscott do a few times.
And by the way, people, he set me up for a match with a girl.
Yeah.
Last week.
I wanted to...
and I lost 2-0.
Yeah, and it was not even so much the result that disappointed me, Carmac. It was more of the way. He played against a female friend of me who did used to play some Warcraft 3 as well, so she has a little bit more RTS experience than you. But nevertheless, I both wished with them, even though you said you didn't get it. But I both told them in PvP on the maps like Delta Quadrant, which was the...
I totally didn't get it.
And the other map was Cell Naga, like just play 3-gate Robo and make Colossi. Honestly, Colossi are really good. Obviously, there are still so many ways to vary that play, and that's questionable as well because everything is counterable. But that's what I wish for them both. So my female friend, her name is Sophie. So
okay, just
yeah,
show them the replay, show them the builds. That's enough.
So she just plays like 3-gate Robo. She ends up with lots of Colossi, and she crushes Carmac, who probably had the most epic Protoss build order in all time. Now, I'm gonna load up this replay already, so I'm gonna show him what I basically want him to do, at least on certain maps. But guys, just imagine, you see someone going 3-gate, Robo, Twilight Console, puts down an expand, starts researching charge, cancels charge at 50%, cancels his expand, puts down a Stargate, goes for a hidden expand, makes Immortals, and goes for another original expand, like absolute. Oh, and then he went Blinkstalker as well, and in the end he ended up with High Templars with Storm. Well, Carmac, you certainly, you created something. I'm not sure if it's something to be proud of, but at least you have your own build order, something that someone never did before. I'm quite sure of it.
Let's just say that I had absolutely no idea that if you cancel a building in StarCraft, you actually lose money.
Yeah, okay,
you don't get a refund.
That's only the slightest excuse you could possibly have for that build order. So
okay, let's go to the lecture. Enough embarrassing me.
Enough indeed. Let's switch over in-game. I played one game against the computer before, just something fast. So to show Carmac a basic build order. Obviously, what I said already, guys, before, I tried to teach Carmac out of the show as well, because I can't really, like, just with 1 hour a day, bring him into Master League, which is still our ultimate goal. He started in bronze, he's already in gold. We want to get him in Master League, but obviously if I just have 6 times 1 hour, it's almost pretty much impossible to get someone to Master League who was still in Bronze League after 600 games.
Actually, the end goal is for me to beat Dennis Galen. Take a map from Dennis Galen.
Well, that is the ultimate goal.
Dennis take Galen.
Something we announced after the show, which is also quite a tough goal, because Dennis is probably currently already at like Master League, a bit above 3,000. So.
I spoke to him before the show and he laughed at me. He laughed in my face. So.
Well, it's more because you say it so confident.
Yeah, if you don't have, if you don't aim for the sky, you never get anything. So
anyway, so much about that. If you actually want to be the player who's good, better than you, this is something to look forward to. What I said already, I coached you a little bit outside of the show. I saw you made 4-gate once, which actually made me a little proud. Despite 4-gate not being the most skillful strategy out there, it's a very powerful weapon that you can always use. Unfortunately, when you 4-gate, you somehow end up with 1100 minerals, and that's obviously something we want to change. So back to basics. For the people who wonder, like maybe you should like right now announce the exact placement of the piling of the pylon of the gateway. For stuff like that, for exact numbers, I recommend anyone to just take a look at Liquipedia. Honestly, you can read so many good build orders over there, and that's really a place to be. If you want it exactly narrowed down to one number. This is not really what I want to do with Carmac right now. I just want to talk him through a little bit through the thinking process. All right. What you see so far is something probably you will do yourself as well. Correct?
Yep. What I normally do is 9 pylon, 12 gate, 14 gas, and then depending on how I want to progress.
Yeah, no, that's fine. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. That is indeed the correct way to 4-gate. Something I pointed out last week already is that your management of energy on the Nexus is something super important. Certainly when you 4-gate. For instance, I played against a really good Protoss player in Europe a few weeks ago, my friend Todd. He just decides to 4-gate me as soon as he sees that I make 3 chrono boosts on my Nexus instead of 2. He's like, yeah, that's what I do with cocky bastards, as you just because you're greedy to get that extra minerals. And this is why like your energy management is super important. And unfortunately, I see whenever you try to 4-gate, you just ended up with like almost 100 energy on all your 4-gates and 1200 minerals. This is something you should really try to take care of. Something else, because if I would ask you right now, if you decide to 4-gate, how many units do you make from your first gateway?
2 to 3.
Okay, well that's not bad, but the fact that you don't have it narrowed down yet says everything. There are actually different ways. You see people who only make 1 zealot and then like go for the extra fast. And obviously there are different ways to 4-gate as well. You can pull the guys off of gas to go for zealot only warp in, or just start off with a 10-gate to get those stalkers out a little bit faster as well. But this is sort of traditional one. What you see me do here is build the 3 gates almost at the exact moment. It's only annoying when you have like one on 50%, one on 45%, because it's nicer to have them all pretty much completed at the same moment. So you just press GGG and you have 4 warp gates ready for your next warp in, which is basically what you want to aim for instead of having units warp in one by one. Because the moment you actually start fighting over here, and you have still your warp pylon over here, you don't want to like lose focus out of here of your stalkers, because stalker control is obviously very important. You don't really want to switch back over here just to warp in 1 unit, go back over here, start fighting again. So as soon as you have the rotations pretty much going on the same moment, you can warp in 4 units when you want to, instead of having to take back. And you can obviously this will benefit your micro a little bit.
They're in the same cycle.
Yeah, exactly. You want to have them in the same cycle.
And how do I, by the way, how do I hotkey places, random places on the map to the I think F1, F2?
Yeah. I just heard about that last week as well. To be honest, I think that's absolutely useless. I don't really see the benefit of that at all, so I don't use it. I do believe this has something to do with Control F1, Control F2. The only thing I could actually, you could say if you want to group this screenshot in the middle of the map, then you could tap back it faster. But whether I warp in here and I go here, or I press something on my on my miles and minimap. I mean, if you have to go back to your base, it's something different, but that's because that's so much farther away that you have to drag your mouse farther or have to select the minimap. And the moment like that, you would rather press like 2 times 4 if you have your nexus on 4 or if your gateways. So you press 4 a few times and then it jumps back to your base. And then you can press 1 a few times if you have your units grouped on 1 and you are back again. This way everything goes faster, obviously, but I don't group the screenshot. I love how you asked me something that I don't use. Thank you, Carmac. Yeah.
But to go back to your base is just space.
Yeah, that's something as well. But like for instance, I prefer to group. I prefer to press 4 a few times. That's where my warp gates are, and then I'm certainly looking at my warp gates straight away, which obviously are next to my base. But yeah, go with space to your base is always pretty fast. As you see, I cut it down to 22 probes. This is something I personally prefer. You see a few players who have a bit more probes, a bit less. Always add up at an even number. Don't have 21 or 23 because it's useless. You can always have an extra probe because if you can't warp in units from Protoss which have 1 supply other than a probe or an observer. But if you forget, you obviously won't have an ops. So try to get it even. Don't make too many probes. I saw you try to forgate with 28 probes as well. This is why you had so many minerals. So just try to narrow it down. You're gonna execute the strategy soon, and then you will be able to do what I just basically showed you. But it's always a lot easier, I think, when you're actually doing it yourself. Just as learning something while seeing it is a lot easier than learning something while reading it. You agree?
Yep, definitely. I mean, you have to pull it. I was learning to execute several build orders in the game, and basically, what's really important is that you remember when to place which building, and not just randomly do things.
One more thing I would say as well, if what you often see is people forgate, they build 1 warp-in pylon like somewhere in the middle of the map, which I did now at the Cell Naga Tower, then 1 sort of offensive warp-in pylon near the rocks. If you still need more pylons, just build them in your base. Don't build them all near the rocks, because you could get in a situation where you did a lot of damage, but not enough damage to actually finish off your opponent. And having done 4 pylons outside of his base near the rocks, they're all gonna die. So that's just extra minerals you lose. So just only build the warp-in pylons that you really need, unless of course you go for a different warp-in where you want to warp in the cellars only. But that's a bit too advanced for you, and I don't think I need to tell you that strategy. So. Right.
Okay.
And as you said, you want to beat Dennis Take, who is a better player than you. And often, when you do face better players, forgate could be a cheap win, a cheap way to score a good win. Nevertheless, if they do scout properly, it's not the best strategy around, but it's a strategy you definitely need to know. And I mean, for instance, on PvP on Scrap Station, this is still a very popular strategy, just because the entrance on Scrap Station is so big that with a force field you can't really force it off, and Stalkers are just so extremely mobile in PvP that it's still a good threat and you will still face it, basically on every level. It seems like your friend is ready.
Yep. So I'm gonna switch my headset to PC sound only.
Yep. And now, obviously, by all means, I don't mean that I want him to forget this game. It's just to give him a basic idea.
Oh, he's listening to the stream,
Yeah,
so
no worries.
he's gonna need to guess if I'm gonna forgate or not.
Indeed, Carmac is going to switch up his microphone so he can't hear me, so I can actually talk from both players' point of view what's going to happen. And afterwards, obviously, I'm going to analyze Carmac his mistakes once more, which probably are going to be quite some mistakes. You can still talk, right?
Do you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay.
You don't hear me?
I'm gonna have to put on the music, so.
That's fine.
And please don't say too much of revealing stuff.
No, I won't. But you don't hear me, right? Okay, I think that's a yes. Alright, so we're just gonna host the game, join the game. Carmac is gonna play against the guy who we got challenged by last week, Phil, the editor-in-chief from Fnatic, apparently. Which is one of my old teams, by the way, if you guys are interested. In Warcraft 3, I played for Fnatic for, like 3 years or something. And even played a little bit of HON for them, but I wasn't that good in HON. It was more like I was creating the team instead of really being a key player. Even though I wasn't bad either. I was far from good. Go. They're discussing the map. Try to get some ratio advantage. Obviously, I can show Carmac's profile to the world. He did play quite some games so far. I'll switch to my screen once more. Here we have Carmac. He's currently ranked 14 in Gold League, which is already quite good considering before my coaching he was, after 500 games, still in Bronze. He was ranked 1 in Bronze League though, but...
Can you please host?
Yep. Oh yeah, you should have told me. So, what map?
Zelnaga Caverns.
Alright, so we're gonna host Selnaga.
Hooga!
One time, baby. One time. Johnny.
Now I'm going to be able to focus a little bit more without the Dutchman in my ear.
Can you invite your friend to the game? Because I don't have a...
Invite me first.
just trace me. I can invite you.
There we go.
Obviously. Player, Phil, Fnatic. Huh?
There we go. Fnatic Phil.
You're even playing against a guy with a Fnatic tag, Carmac. Do you feel the pressure?
By the way, guys, I hear some humming, but I can't recognize any words in what RotterdaM is saying, so...
So I'm just asking the players if we are ready so we can start the first game of today, which is going to be a custom game, the first time. Obviously, I want... Fnatic Phil is not ready yet. I really had a lot of requests about people who want to play against Carmac on the stream. I'm going to think about this as well. And we thought perhaps not next week and not the one after that, because that's when we're going to be at CBIT. I was still in the playing spot. Yeah. Alright, both players are ready, so I'm gonna start the game. To finish up the story I was talking about, I really got a lot of requests about people who really want to play against Carmac. So we thought like perhaps in 3 weeks we can have one evening where Carmac will just play against people from the community, just sort of like a community challenge. So if you want to play on esl-tv against Carmac, this might be possible. Then we're just gonna have one full show with like 6, 7, perhaps 5, 6, 7 opponents who are gonna play against Carmac. Obviously, later today, you will be able to win another Jim Raynor Noob, as we saw before, which was won by Marius, who made the awesome GIF of the epic EMP fill, which could be a Carmac storm, but then from Terran. You will be able to win another Jim Raynor Noob. Just stay tuned, and we will tell you how to. The sad thing is that Carmac can't hear me, so obviously he is able to talk if he wants to, but now he doesn't hear me when I tell him to. I didn't get a look at Fnatic's Phil's profile. That's a bit sad. I wonder if they were in each other's league or whatsoever. So I have absolutely no idea. You know. Gonna ask one of the observers who was in the game. Perhaps he can help me out because he said this was his Padawan. So if Phil would be able to beat Carmac right now, then. Alright, so he is a gold player, but he's more of a platinum skill. But I think that Carmac thinks the same thing about himself, if not better. He really has a lot of faith, even though he's been still losing to a few silver players here and there. For instance, my female friend. But yeah, she gets some help from me as well, so that doesn't really count. We do see the barracks going down for Phil. On 12 supply, nothing really too unusual. Carmac opened with a 12 gate. I'm gonna still focus more on Carmac's point of view than the Terran one. Because obviously I want to analyze Carmac's play and I want to be able to help him faster. So keeping a close eye on his build or whatsoever. I did talk, of course, a little bit about strategies with him as well, off the record. We spoke some about PvT. He wants to learn how to use Phoenix. He can use them a little bit, just not properly yet. I told him that's fine because I play a lot with Phoenix again in PvT. But I'm also a bit worried about Phoenix in general in PvT. As opening, I don't feel that it's that great anymore. Terrans start to expand so fast again lately that the damage you deal to their economy with a little bit of Phoenix harassment doesn't really add up to the cost of having a Stargate and having a Phoenix early on. And obviously not being able to expand because you don't have enough ground units to back your Phoenix play up. We do see the Cybernetics core going down for Carmac. Ooh, this is what I don't like at all. I think he's getting a bit nervous. He's probably microing his probe around. Let's take a small look from Carmac's point of view. That's something I always join. Another Chrono Boost on the Nexus. Could have happened before, but that's okay. He did manage to save his probe, which I think wouldn't have happened against a better Terran. The tech lab is going up. I don't think he saw that yet. Oh yeah, he did see that. He did see the tech lab or the add-on being built. So that's nice scouting by Carmac right there. He could have used the gas a little bit faster, but as I said, I'm pretty sure that he was microing his probe. So he wasn't really looking at it. And of course, guys, I want to show you the APM tab. Carmac with mighty 33 APM. This this is quite high for Carmac's standards. No, I'm just kidding. Normally is around 50. Obviously, he's gonna have to work on that as well. This is not Brute War. You don't need 400 APM, but 30 is a little bit unacceptable as well. That's another way to win a game. Right now, already we see a couple of flaws in his build. I think he wants to put down a robo right now because he's saving up 100 gas. No, he builds 2 more gates and he's still on 1 gas. Okay. But I think he forgot Warp Gate. Okay, there we go. That's something that he could have done a very, very long time ago. Obviously, this was already a minor mistake because it doesn't really matter what strategy you do. You can always research Warp Gate instantly. It will always be useful at any given point of the game. But if you want a 4 gate and... Ooh, we see 3 Rex played by Phil. 3 Rex is pretty much the ultimate Terran counter against 4 gate. But nevertheless, there are so many ways to stop 4 gating nowadays as a Terran player. As long as you have a bunker which is well prepared and you're able to bring SCVs in time to repair the bunker, you should almost be fine with any opening. We do see the 2 Stalkers going off by Carmac as well. He's producing already way more units than you would normally have. The power of 4 gate is not really to have 4 gates and produce units, it's just to warp in units extremely fast and ignore the travel distance. That is weapon. He does use Chrono Boost pretty nicely on the Simonetta score. He has 23 probes right now. I just told him not to be on an uneven number, so he should build 1 more probe. I hope he knows it, because this is bad right now. Okay, he's at 39. He has quite some fight. He has to be really careful. There are no concussive shells yet. Ooh, but the first Stalker almost falls down. Ah, that's obviously not the engage you want to have either. Not so much right now because he's losing his pylon. He gave away the fact that he was gonna be there. So this makes Phil come out of the base, but even more. Oh, we just see a Forge as well. But even more, you pretty much give the suggestion that you're there already. And if you would have concussive shells, which a Terran player normally should have had. Carmac is nervous, I think. It's blowing off some steam. And he's still on an uneven number of probes, which I get really annoyed by. And we do see Forge now as well. It again makes no sense what Carmac is doing. He cancelled Warp Gate. Oh no. He's just not making them into Warp Gate. There you go. So we see the 3 racks opening by Phil, who also went into a command center. I must say Phil's build order so far looks a lot more solid. He even has Stimpeg already. Concussive shells should be ready now as well. Yes, it is. So even if Carmac wants to expand anytime soon, just like his Terran opponent is doing, he's gonna be in a hell of a lot of trouble. He decided to go for the second gas right now, builds more probes. So he decided to cancel his 4 gate strategy. Which I didn't really want to call a 4 gate threat, because it's sort of an insult to all good 4 gate threats out there. I tried to give him some tips about the traditional 3 gate robo play as well, which is quite a valuable strategy, and even in every single matchup. In PvP, you can always go 3 gate into Colossi, there's nothing wrong with that. It's arguably even the strongest strategy. Obviously there are flaws in it as well, and it's counterable, but all in all I would say it's the most solid safe strat. Against Terran I think it's even really good, as long as you keep a close eye on when and when he would have Vikings out. But if you wouldn't have the Vikings out in time, 3 gate Colossi can be pretty good, certainly on small maps like Steppes of War, where you're almost in your opponent's base instantly. And against Zerg, you could make a certain 3 gate Coloss pushes, even though if you play against a really good Zerg, that's not gonna be really the way to beat them. But as I said, I try to think of it as Carmac point of view as well. He's not playing against the best Zergs in Europe or whatsoever. So I try to teach him decent strategies, not the best, but decent strategies, decent build orders, yeah, which should help him on his way up. I do like that he's expanding now. He's producing Immortals, or at least one of them. Getting the 1-0 upgrade. He's currently at 26 probes, so if... Okay, we just see him building 4 more probes, that's the way. Setting in an observer. I'm just gonna look at Carmac's point of view once more a little bit. Are you gonna build Colossi, Carmac? He spreads out his pylons because so he can see drops coming faster. He's aware of those kind of things already, which is nice, obviously. You do see the 2 bunkers by Phil, which is a good way to defend your Arxman from Terran's point of view. Phil, who's already preparing slowly but steady. I think he will probably open up with Medivacs, but he could produce Vikings as well because right now he knows he doesn't have to face fear too much anymore from gateway units. He's building Marauders Marines. So not using. Okay, there we go. He's building two. He's opening up with 2 Medivacs. He did not scout, as far as I know, the robotics bay. No, he didn't scout it yet. He does use another scan, and he has a perfect view on Carmac's army. In situations like this, what you see really good Protoss players do, like for instance like Ados Gold, what I always love, is when he goes for a sort of fastest spend and you do have your observer having a good eye on your opponent's army, you want to spread out a couple of units around your base. So if there would still be a drop, which you didn't see it leave, because you can see everything with one observer, you have units spread out to your base already, and it's a lot easier to defend against a possible drop, which is obviously something that can really help out a lot on the higher levels of play. Ooh. I think knowing how Carmac handles battle, he decided to upgrade thermal lens straight away, even before he has a single Colossi in production, which is obviously not really a good decision. This army is looking really strong right now. I don't really think Carmac is going to be able to save his Nexus. Oh, it's taking so much damage already. This Stimpack army is pretty much a perfect counter. We don't see Guardian Shield being used. He did use 2 force fields, but there we go. Guardian Shield is being activated. The Zealots are in a decent position. The Immortals are doing quite some damage. So Carmac, okay, he managed to snipe the Medivac as well with the Stalkers, which is quite reasonable. But nevertheless, he did lose his Nexus, which is a really big blow in the long run. Oh no, we have another Immortal moment with Carmac. Is he going to try to microwave? No, he doesn't. Okay. Which was the right decision because it would have fallen down anyway to concussive shells. But obviously everyone who saw last week will not remember the awesome Immortal micro from Carmac. Almetalopolis already became a little epic moment. Decides to head out with a couple of Stalkers in the middle of the map. I think Carmac's thinking process right now is that he just won a battle, so he should be able to counterattack. But in StarCraft 2 it doesn't always work like that. Certainly because from the start of the attack until the end of the attack, quite some time passed by. So obviously your opponent is going to have quite some units. We see Stimpack being used. Phil is playing quite well, focusing out the Immortal straight away, which does the majority of the damage on these Marauders. And Carmac is going to lose these Stalkers as well. He will be able to snipe off a couple of more units, but these Marauders with Stimpack absolutely tears the Stalkers apart. Just managed to take down the final Marauder. We have quite some energy on this Orbital Command. Of course, for all you Terran players out there in the lower leagues, don't get this much energy on your Orbital Command. I would right now, okay, he's dropping 1 mule, which is good, but I would just drop 2 mules instantly. And if you really want, you can use another scan. But always drop mules. Ooh, meanwhile we see, well, so many expense from Phil going up. If we take a look at the income tab, he's currently at 42 workers, SCVs, and that's not really enough to support 3 bases or possible 4 base. We see Twilight Console being added by Carmac, if I can find it. So my suggestion is that, my guess is that he will most likely research Charge. He's quite a fan of Charge, and Charge is obviously a very good upgrade against Terran, so there's nothing wrong with that. This is, by the way, guys, a typical Carmac, becoming a typical Carmac habit. He's always trying to find like such complicated solutions in the games that I watch against my female friend. He tried to go for Immortal drops as well with Warpins in the back of the base. Like he tries to play a lot better than he should. Carmac watches quite some StarCraft 2 and he sees like these awesome Protoss players like White Ra, like Mana. You guys know the names obviously. For me, the European Protoss in general. Making really good use of these Warp Prisms, using Immortals to drop, using just Warpins to save a little bit of time. And Carmac always feels that he has to do the same stuff, which I feel is a little bit out of his league right now. He should just focus on basic build orders, which is obviously what I try to tell him, and warp in the basic units. For instance, when I tell him to go 3-gate Colossi in Protoss Mirror, just go 3-gate Colossi, and don't try to be as smart as with Immortals, High Templars, and Warpins all around the map, because it doesn't really work. We do see him researching Charge, which is not a bad idea. Certainly Charge with the combined focus power from the Colossi, that should be able to do a lot of damage. Considering there are 3 Vikings on the map as well, this Warp Prism. I don't think it will do a hell of a lot of damage, but let's see. Obviously, this stuff can work. Oh, we see another Starpit being headed with a couple of Banshees. No cloak. Quite some Rexes from Phil. Phil is a little short on gas. He did finally put 3 and 3 on gas right now. He's taking double refinery over here. Well, I have a feeling this game is going to take a while. Phil obviously could have finished off Carmac pretty much after he killed these stalkers over here. If he would have just macroed up a little bit. He does have really a lot of units there, so he will probably still finish him up in the long run. But right now, Carmac is at 2 base already. He's getting a decent army. He's getting decent upgrades. Normally, as Terran player, if you're able to snipe a Nexus, and then you have a fight which you barely lose. I mean, Phil did lose the fight over here in the end, but he killed so many units. Knowing that you have a much better economy, all you have to do is just build up those units once more. Carmac helped him a little bit by attacking over here, and then he lost even more units. If Phil would have gone for the counter-attack on that moment, there was pretty much no way that Carmac would have been able to defend it. Carmac wipes in 5 more Zealots. He's currently at 117 supply. Well, Phil is at 180. Carmac is still flying around with the Warp Prism. He's gonna try to kill his expand. Let's see. He will be able to take it down. Phil's moving out with his really, really big bio army right now, though. Has quite some Medivacs as well. Oh my god, that's many Marauder. That's more than 20 Marauder. That's a really, really early stim pack. But nevertheless, it's going to be a useful stim pack because he will be able to do a lot of damage to this Protoss army. We see the Vikings focusing the Colossi as well. This is a fight where Carmac pretty much has no chance. Any sake person would call GG right now, but Carmac has faith in his Warp Prism harass. Come on, I knew he would move the Warp Prism just after a moment like that. But we do see Phil heading in once more, who does have a lot of minerals once more. Carmac units are storming in, but this is pretty much gonna be GG, and Carmac loses the game for too many reasons that I can count on one hand. Come on, Carmac, go for your White Prism harassment. I know you like white. Oh, there we go. I think these two Zealots are gonna turn the game around. Oh. Carmac is going to switch up the microphone once more so he can actually chat with you guys and he can chat with me. Well, you can hear me again, Carmac?
Yes, I can.
Alright. What do you have to say about this game?
I have to say GG to Phil. I have to say I executed my build order poorly, which allowed him to pretty much get in the lead, and he didn't let it slip. Even though he lost the first battle, I was all the time behind. And
he lost the first battle?
He lost. Well, he pushed me.
Which battle?
Let's just say my units were the ones left alive. Okay.
That was not a good trade for you at all. I hope you I did understand your logic somehow that you.
I didn't want to. Look, I don't have enough experience to know if I should push or not.
No, well, okay.
I was thinking,
All you have to think about in a situation like that is how much time passed by, and how big is Cell Naga Caverns, how much time passed by that when his army was actually like starting to run into my expand, then took down my Nexus, moved to the right, had some kiting, had some hit and run. I mean, all in all, really quite some time passed by.
Plus, I didn't micro at all in my battles, like 0.
And then think about the fact that he's probably on 5-6 Rex, something like that. And just imagine how many units he can have up there. So going for a counter-attack with roughly 5-6 Stalkers, 1 Sentry, 1 Immortal, that can never be too successful. Also, the key thing of that push was basically taking out your Nexus. Even if he would have done twice as worse and would have killed only half the units of you that he actually did, and still lose his units, that would have still been a decent trade for him because he would have so much better economy, and he would still be able to defend his attack for any upcoming counter attack. So that was not a winning battle for you.
Yeah, I know that.
All right.
Oh well. GG to Phil.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure he will not. I'll ask for a rematch when I play from home. Still, from home, I'm way better than this. Although this is, let's say, fairly close to my normal level. Let's put it this way.
Right. Well, like the thing that you do quite some things well as well. I mean, you spend your minerals. It's something you do quite often, but you decide to 4-gate, which is something we spoke about a little bit. Then you kind of forget your warp gate upgrade. I mean, you haven't.
Yeah, I got the timing off. You know what? Here's the deal. What I normally do on ladder versus players who I think that they think. What I do is, and I completely mistimed this because I forgot to send my probes to gas in time.
Yeah, I saw that as well.
What I wanted to do actually is to let him see a Stargate and then kill the SCV with my first Stalker, and then I see, I don't have money, I don't have gas for a Stargate, and it delayed my entire build order like completely because I wanted to use this Stargate fake trick, and then everything fell apart.
I mean, something I saw yesterday in Go for StarCraft 2 was where Kiara played against Moro and LT. Kiara scouted a really early Roach Warren Moro scouted an early Roach Warren by Ciara, then chased the drone away. Ciara cancelled the Roach Warren and made a Ling all in, and the moment Moro saw this amount of links, he calls GG instantly. So your thinking process is, okay, it's nice to fake stuff, even though faking a Stargate is quite gas expensive, and that means that whatever you do originally plan to build already requires quite some gas. So I'm not sure if that's really the way to go. But other than that, you just think way too complicated. There's no reason for you to think like that. It's so much better to just execute basic strategies, execute them properly, and then really when you like come to the highest level of play, then you can like try to fool your opponents by making fake Stargates, using warp prisms, dropping. But right now, if you would just focus on spending your money on the right moment, going 3-gate, robo, make a well-timed Colossi push, you could do so much better. Why don't you ask him for one more game, and then you tell, and then you're gonna listen to me.
Sure.
I will only watch from your point of view, not from his.
So basically, actually what I've noticed is the higher level players there are, the easier fooled they are. The easier it is to fool them.
That is true in some
because low level players kind of focus on execution and just boom.
Yeah, that you have a point there.
And bring it down to micro and just pure macro without any special tricking, thinking, reacting and whatnot. But when I have a reactive player, I actually perform a little bit better unless I'm totally up microed.
Yeah, that's true. Well, your friend is not there, so I said let's just go ladder game, and then I want to talk you through a little bit, and I will keep a close eye on what you do wrong, what you do right.
Let's go, man.
Switching to your screen.
If I play Zerg, I wanna, if I may suggest a build order, I would like Phoenix Harassment. Phoenix Harassment and forcing him to go Hydra, so I can go expand and go. Hold on. He's there. Phil's gonna give me a rematch.
Okay, let's.
Thank you, Phil.
Let's host a small map. We're gonna host Steppes of War, which is normally a really good Terran map, but just because I want you to execute a strategy which I tell you to do, and I think you will be able to do reasonably fine against an opponent who I do think is a little bit better than you. Even though you are better in spending your money, he did have quite some minerals all the time. I will join the game, but I won't. Just to show the people at home sometimes, but I'm not gonna comment things. All right, let's just go. But I will switch to your screen.
Sure, sounds good.
To your point of view. So we are watching my monitor right now, so I will guarantee you guys that I won't see what Phil is doing. I'm just gonna coach Carmac from Carmac's point of view. I just want to be in the game as well, so I can look at things myself instead of only seeing what he sees. Right, there we go. As you guys can see, I'm looking from Carmac's point of view. Okay, Carmac, you're just going to build the pylon at 9, which you always do. And guys, once more, if you struggle with strategies or whatsoever, honestly, take a look at Wikipedia. There's almost basically everything you want to know about build orders whatsoever. You can find almost everything there. I really recommend you guys, if you're really into numbers and you really want to narrow it down to which supply you should use which building, just keep a close eye on that side.
My game sounds are quite low.
Oh yeah, sorry, you have no game sounds. I will turn it to you. So we have your game sounds right now. You're gonna build a 9 pylon, roughly there. Indeed, and you're gonna scout straight away. Give those 5 minerals to your nexus. make a probe. Like as soon as you hit 50, you should already.
Yeah, I know. But this is what.
No.
Yeah, this is what happens exactly when I try to follow commands. My brain shuts off.
All right. Well, I try to minimize it. No, I did not see that. We have no idea. Okay, at 12 you're gonna build the gateway. Actually, make it 11 this time. I'm gonna teach you something different.
Ah, sorry, too late.
That's fine. Okay, no, that's fine.
Oh.
Sorry, I was looking at the harvest account instead of your actual supply. Okay, another probe, another probe. Good. You didn't even tap back to your base. That's good. That's what I like. Okay, as soon as you have 75 minerals, build a Vespian Geyser now. Actually, we can just. I will just switch so people can see your mouse clicks. That's a bit better. But I'm still looking at your point of view. Yeah, good. Make another pylon. Send them to your gas. The geysers. Make cybernetics core now. And look at your scout probe instantly. Good. And don't forget to just press 4 and make E. You don't have to look at your base for that. Okay, okay, the barracks is up. Oh, you have to run a boost straight away. I'm sorry I didn't say that. What? I was looking at your camera. I didn't really see. That's something you should always do in between.
So,
make probe. You just
gateway?
No. Probe. No gateway. Take your second gas. And you make Stalker instantly and research Warp Gate. How come you made 2 Stalkers, I think, no? How can you be so low on gas? Yeah. Make Warp Gate. Research Warp Gate, you still didn't do it. Okay, you can actually use a Chrono Boost on your Warp Gate, so you get units out faster because you're still on 1 gate.
Warp gate,
yeah,
Chrono?
Chrono. No, no, not that one. Chrono, your Warp Gate, not the upgrade.
Make your gateway.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, it's not a gate, Warp Gate yet. Same stuff for me. Okay, now you can make another gate. Actually, yeah, just make another gate. Make 2 more gates, because your macro is gonna select. Make probes. After this zealot, you make a sentry.
Well, that's actually
E.
I know, but it's a stalker. I queued up a stalker.
I told you to make a zealot, but okay.
Sorry.
Make another pylon. Like, spread your pylons out a little bit. Don't build them all too close. It's not only just to see things coming, but in general, what I really like. Oh, that was bad. That's okay. You just saw that. That's no fine. That's all fine. Make a robotics bay. Robotics facility. I'm sorry. And make a zealot out of that gateway now. And make probes. Where are you sending your stalkers? Keep your units at your choke. If he runs in with marauders and you lose your sentry instantly, you're... Okay, make warp gates and warp in zealots. You need the zealots to defend against any sort of push. Did you lock up a probe there?
Might have.
Yeah, just kill it with your... oh no, okay, that's good. Make another... warp in zealots. You have too much minerals already. Okay, make a robotics bay straight away. Make an observer out of the robotics facility. Okay, make a... yeah. Just 1 is enough. Chrono boost it out and make zealots. As soon as he... What you should always... Make sure that you have your units correctly grouped in group 1. That if he runs up your choke with a stimmed army, that you can make a force field behind it instantly. Make sure you only make 1 observer, right? You can make 1 or more, because I know you like that. What are you doing? No, don't warp in too much.
Just wanted another one.
Okay, he makes a scan. Well, that's fine. What he's gonna see right now, you send an observer out to his base. You make a Colossi instantly and you want to Chrono boost it out. No Immortal, cancel it. Make Colossi and Chrono. Make another pylon. What you normally would have done is I would make a bit faster stalker so you have a better view on what he does early game. But since you sort of screwed up, don't walk down your choke. It's too dangerous. So you want to save your Chrono Boost right now only for Colossi, because what I want you to do this game, okay, you can actually research. No, don't do it. Just make enough pylons, wipe in a few stalkers, but not too many, because you want to make another Colossi. Just keep this observer there, that's fine. Chrono Boost on the robotics bay, robotics facility, sorry. Wipe in stalkers. 2 stalker, 1 zealot would be good. Too many pylons now, that makes no sense, because you're gonna attack him soon.
Well, I didn't know I was attacking him soon. So.
After the second Colossi, you're gonna attack him. And I want you, you remember what I told you? That it can really help you out if you group your Colossi on group 2, while grouping them together on 1 as well, just to have a little bit faster micro with them. Because the next fight, as you saw in the previous game, against the bio-infantry army, you really need Colossi or Force Field. Well, Force Field and Charge Lords could be a way to win, but in general, you really want Colossi or High Templars. So your Colossi are going to be your main damage output, you're going to be really careful with them. Okay, you have your second Colossi out, so I say let's attack. You can research thermal lens, but normally I wouldn't have done it because you don't have the money for it. Okay, move out with everything. Always walk the Colossi in the back. Don't let them walk up front. Okay, just walk on, just attack, and meanwhile wipe in a few more units. You can put down a Nexus, but meanwhile you want to focus on attacking. You have to group that 1 Colossi in group 1. You don't have it. Go attack. You're wasting too much time right now. And make sure that you enter with the Colossi in the back and you want to activate Guardian Shield immediately. Put down a Nexus and then only focus on this fight. Okay. Just attack right now. Guardian Shield. You didn't press G. Okay, you can make Force Field too. Walk your Colossi to the back. Your Colossi to the back.
What the hell?
Warp in Stalkers and attack him. Your base, Carmac. Warp in Stalkers. Stalkers. Look the amount of zealots that you have already. What you want to do right now is just send 2 zealots into that SCV line, or 3 zealots. Attack move, don't focus things, just attack move. Control your stalkers too, which are on his expand. Alright. How does it feel?
Nah, feels okay.
Why?
Feels okay.
Feels like I played?
Yeah, feels like you played pretty much.
Well,
it felt, none of me felt in this game. I mean, I felt none of me in this match.
Nothing that you would have done yourself?
No, actually, no, none of my thinking process. I did not understand. I wasn't focused on what he may be doing right now and so and whatnot. You know.
Okay, but that's not a bad thing. To give you the thinking
I mean,
process.
it lets me figure out the mechanics, but it completely shuts down my brain from any independent thinking.
All right. So, what are your first questions about playing the strategy? What do you feel like? Why would it be weak? Against what would it be weak?
If he basically, I mean, I would have to properly micro the force fields if he would rush me with anything, with early.
That's just the reason why I told
early
you.
Infantry.
That's the reason why I told you to have your units pretty much standing on top of your choke. That the moment he would use Stimpack and he would run up your choke, you have the zealots right there blocking the entrance, the stalkers behind it, and you have a sentry. So if he walks up, you put a force field behind it.
Still afraid of those things.
Yeah,
seriously.
I know that. I saw that last time. You make a sentry, but you don't use force field to actually like trap him or something. You panic and you want to run away. While the sentry is is there to forcify. That's why they call them force fields.
Yeah, I know that. I know those things.
No,
it's just that, you know, it's. I'm beginning to use the hotkeys for my army. I'm beginning to get used to that. I mean, obviously, something I learned in judo. You don't, learn things by constantly playing games. You should train as well. And all I do is just play games in ladder. So I pick up way slower than I could. For instance, I could learn all of this stuff like all of this control stuff in a week, like control groups, camera hotkeys and whatnot, if I actually focused on exclusively on that. But I'm too much of a newbie that likes to win games to let go of the ladder. But yeah, I'm too much of a panicky guy to force field the ramp.
All right. Anyway, just in general, a 3-gate fast Colossi play is basically, obviously it has this vulnerability. Like for instance, if you would only make one observer and you send it out straight away and he would go for a cloak Banshee, you're gonna lose 5-6 probes guaranteed. If all your units are standing at that choke and you didn't make a lot of Zealot, a lot of Stalkers, because you will want to save the gas for the faster Colossi. Because if you would like execute this perfectly, you really have like a small gas window. You almost can't afford any Stalker you don't necessarily want to make. So if you're standing there on top of your choke and he suddenly does a blue flame Hellion drop at the left side, you're gonna have to split up your units and you're gonna be pretty screwed as well. You're gonna lose. So obviously it had its weaknesses, but in general this is really quite a solid opening, and certainly on small maps like this where you can basically move out and before you know it you're right there with 2 Colossi really fast. That's why Chrono Boost is so nice. You can do so much damage, and it's really quite a strategy which it's a strategy which can easily bring you to Master League if executed properly.
By the way, guys, if you want to win one of these noobs, Jim Raynor Noobs, we've got 2 left. We're about to close the show, so
I'd say one more fast ladder game. I think we'll be fine.
Sure,
Because it's been otherwise a really short show. We also had the announcement of IEM and whatsoever.
So I don't want people to get bored. Anyway, let's announce what this is for. All you need to do is go to the VOD of this show, or go to anywhere where you can find us on social media, and basically post your prediction on how many days it's going to take me to go to Platinum starting today. You can find on teamliquid.net in the ESC2 general forum, you can find the esl-tv RotterdaM University thread. You've got links to everything where to find us, and my Battle.net profile as well. So post your prediction on how many days it's going to take me to go to Platinum, and then whoever's closest wins the noob.
Alright. Once more I will show Carmac's profile very fast so you guys have an idea of where he is right now. As I said, he's ranked 14 in Gold League. There you are. Ranked 14 in Gold League with 63 wins, 52 losses, currently 1,000 points. So as you can see, he's moving up quite fast. So how many days is it going to take for Carmac to get to Master League? Meanwhile, we're going to switch to his screen. It's a bit unfortunate that you have another Terran opponent.
So what do I do? What strategy do you want me to?
Well, no. You can have your own right again, your own thinking process. But I am going to tell you the things that you do wrong.
Okay.
So don't be afraid to play your own strat, because on LT there are really so many ways to play that. Like for the strategy that you did last week, last game, could be a lot worse on LT if you are cross map, for instance. He's going to have enough time to get the Vikings out there whatsoever. Also, this map is quite dropping sensitive, so. Or he could go for a much faster expand than he would have done on Steppers of War, because it's easier to defend.
What the hell? I'm blind. Okay, never mind.
You again make 8 pylon and then you.
Yeah, because I was. Never mind. Never mind. I would just come up with excuses. So completely never mind.
All right, it's not the end of the world yet. Also, guys, I get quite some queries on Battle.net about people getting the VODs whatsoever. I will just try to link you after today's show in the comments of tv.esl.eu. I will try to give you the links for VOD 1 and 2. Also, more requests about playing against Carmac. We will have a challenger show in one of the upcoming weeks where Carmac will just basically play against people in the community only. Obviously, I will be on Carmac's side, so I will be helping him.
Oh, yes.
So what are you thinking of, Carmac? Just I hope it won't distract you too much, but just tell the people what you want to play.
So basically what I want to play is...
Don't forget to make probes.
I just want to react.
But there are going to be situations where you can't scout. As soon as the first Marine is out, you basically can't scout until you have an Observer or a Phoenix, unless you want to go... yeah, Hallucination, but that's not really an option. Unless you want to walk around with Stalkers, try to get a sneak peek up his hill. But something like that is always risky if you run into concussive shell. So, what are you exactly reacting on?
Well, let's just say I'm gonna I'm just gonna improvise.
Positions like this, you always want to build a pylon on the left side of your base later on, so you can see drops incoming, because this is obviously a really nice position for him to start dropping with medevacts. Or just go for Banshee harass, basically anything. Yeah, I like that you chrono boost your Nexus now. You know your pylon is going to be up soon, so you won't be supply gapped, and obviously you want to work on your economy, so keep chrono boosting.
Where did he go? I wanted to give him my...
Your fake star build.
Yeah.
By You're really proud of this strategy, aren't you?
Hell yes.
Carmac, Carmac. Open up Stargate, then cancel it into 4-gate. That's mindfuck.
Very wise. It shall be as you say.
Let's be safer.
But don't you think it's been time for a second guess? Basically, normally you should take it way faster in every single build that you want, unless, as I previously described, you would like to go for the 4-gate 1 gas, which really is quite all-in-ish. If you don't plan to do that, then. Also, I wonder why you built that pylon over there. I don't think it's a good idea.
I thought I would go 4-gate basically.
Considering he made a wall off, which is not that common anymore in TVP, that's not something I recommend at all. You're gonna have to kill a supply depot first before you can kill anything else. Alright, you see 2 racks. Does tell you something. But the fact that there are no units standing over there definitely tells you something. That
Yeah, I know. I can expect drops.
you're still not mining from your second gas, by the way. Pylon.
The hell is going on?
Medevacts.
Yeah, I know.
Keep a close eye on that medevac, because it's flying above infantry, so if it leaves, you want to know where it leaves to.
Hello?
Oh, Carmac, you little Ada Scott successor. Make probes, and you do want to like slowly transition into something. Like normally I would say you open up with Colossi, but you can basically boot down the Twilight Council now as well and go for High Templars, because as you saw on your Cell Naga game.
I love High Templars, so I'm gonna go for that.
Okay, then build the Twilight Council like now and put down an extra gate as well, because you're gonna have too many minerals soon. Transfer quite some of your probes from your main to your expand. You know, if you want to have like a little trick to make this process easier, select those probes now, like not all of them, just some. Put them on your gas. Okay, you're a bit too slow. And then shift click. No, okay, not like that.
Shift click. Dude, you're confusing the hell out of me.
What? You know what I mean?
No?
Okay, I will demonstrate it to you afterward. Actually, I can demonstrate you right now if you have a dead moment in the game. Why do you do that? That's like a suicide pilot. What are you gonna wipe in there? Which is ever gonna do any damage? I mean, unless you would have DTs, but actually you could. Hey, actually, you might want to do that, Carmac, because he had a reactor on his starport. and no tag lab because he wants Medivacs and perhaps Vikings. Just build on you can have Twilight Council too. You have so much gas anyway. You can't really do anything.
Just a little bit of scouting.
That's fine. Right, Carmac, let me show you one thing. Just like really one small moment. What I just want to do you is like if you would have a few units over here, if you press shift and you click on them, you remove them out of your group. So if you have 6 probes like this and you would do them like that, and you would do then you just like as soon as you click 3 times, you know that there are 3 on your gas. And
dude, I have a lot of game, man.
Yeah. I'm helping you, man. Cancel the expand. Alright, that's a little bit too many units to handle. You should have warped in a sentry now. But as soon as your Dark Shrine is up, you will be able to try to save time. Run the Stalkers back. Chrono boost your gateways. Okay, run suicide the Stalkers and warp in 4 Dark Templars. What? It's not over yet. Keep 1 Dark Templar at the back though, because you don't want to lose all of them in one scan. Okay, send the probe to the right side of the map. Yeah. Well.
No, I can't focus when I play like that.
Like what?
With all the talking, there's there is just no way.
All right, but I try to just in general. Okay, you were now unprepared because I tried to show you something with the minerals, but that wouldn't really have changed that much. I don't really think you would have been able to fight that army off. He had so much infantry. What is wrong?
Nothing. I'm just annoyed that I lost. That's it.
Just in general. What I tried to show you on Salnaga as well, that you really need either Colossi or High Templar really quite fast. Otherwise you're gonna lose against any seriously decent Terran, any good Terran which is gonna be around. If we make a push with Stimpack and heal, he's gonna kill you, honestly. There's no way to stop it. Unless you make really good force fields, but that's a little bit out of your league as well. So you really have to make a plan before, not just try to react on something. You're gonna say, okay, I'm gonna work to Colossi, or I'm gonna work to High Templars, or I'm going all in whatsoever. But you can't rely
let's put it this way.
on Gateway Immortal too long. That's just the way it is.
It's not gonna work if I talk to you during
that makes
gameplay.
no change. That makes absolutely no change.
No, nothing's gonna work if I talk to you. Trust me.
No, I was talking to you in the game you actually won. So.
Yeah, but you won it, not I. You were just telling me what to do. You knew the timings and everything. So.
No, those were not my timings, but that's okay.
Yeah, well, let's put it this way: you have a better feel for that stuff. Anyway,
yeah, I know it's hard to focus. Don't get me wrong, so that's okay. But just in general, I try to show you the light that if you play against a Terran who is good and makes a bio push with heal, you can't win that with Stalker Zealot. It doesn't matter if I talk to you or not, or whatever you aim for, whatever strategy, you are not going to win against good Terrans.
Well, in general, you're not going to win with. You're going to be always outnumbered as Protoss.
Yeah,
so
but
you need the force fields.
Yeah, like you either need really good force fields, or you need High Templars, or you need Colossi. But against a big army like that, if you rely on Immortals, Gateway, and Zealot Stalker, you're not gonna win. It's simple as that. And that's the only thing I tried to show you, actually.
Oh well, I'm gonna go home and then rape some people. I'm gonna take revenge for this ladder game.
Always these talks when you go home, Carmac.
Hell yes, and I'm on winning streaks at home, so I'm gonna have to release some kind of a replay pack where people see how awesome I am at home. Something like that, something of that sort.
All right, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the little improvement that Carmac made over the last few weeks. Once more, if you want to win this bad boy, all you have to do is write on the... I just found out the new answer they could write. Write on our Facebook page, RotterdaM University. Just find us on Facebook and write when you think Carmac is going to enter Platinum.
You were thinking never.
That was exactly what popped into my mind after the last 2 games. But no, that's just kidding. We'll work on it. I'll give you another private lesson. It's okay.
Oh, well. Yeah, anyway. Next week we're going to probably... If we show up at all online, then we will probably pre-record a show, because on Sunday I'm in Hanover preparing for the Intel Extreme Masters World Championship.
Yeah,
So
I think I leave on Monday as well, so I couldn't have done it either.
so we might pre-record something, we might not. We will see. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I was most certainly super terrible, and
I think you were pretty good on Stephens.
thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Just kidding. We'll work on it, Carmac. We'll work on it slowly but steady.
Yep. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna have to prepare some strats for next week. Probably some of those builds that you showed me, and then we'll figure it out. Let's see how it goes then. But what I want to practice next week is micro.
All
So
right.
that you and I sit down, because my micro is pretty much horrible. I don't know what to pay attention to too much. So if we could load up a couple of custom maps where you teach me more or less how to micro, and we have a couple of micro duels, maybe we will see how many stalkers I need to kill your 5 stalkers, for instance.
Yeah, that's a nice challenge.
Yeah, how
Good.
many stalkers am I gonna need to kill 5 of yours?
With blink or without blink?
Challenge me.
I think with blink I could do better than without. Even I'm not sure about that. All right, yeah, I like that idea. My 5 stalkers against your.
However many it takes for me to win.
All right. Well, I think you can't make it too crazy, but I think I can kill 8 stalkers of you with 5 of mine. But I think that's because really it's not rocket science or anything. You make it sounds really complicated in your head, but if you would just like group your units good together and move them together, there is not too much that I can really make the difference in.
Well,
But
we will see then.
I think I can kill 8 of yours.
We will see. Or we can do a mix of Stalker Zealot versus Stalker Zealots as well.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And I mean, I want to do some drills because, quite frankly, I find myself super terrible when we talk. But when we do drills, I think people online can actually learn a little bit more how to control units inside a battle, because usually, you know, you watch the cast, you watch the Intel Extreme Masters GSL MLG, and they're going to go, oh, this is insane micro. But a player of my level will probably not know what actually happened, what got moved around.
All right.
So that might be very useful.
Okay, so next week we're gonna work a little bit on the micro and slowly but steady. Master League, here you come.
I'm going to be platinum next week.
Yeah? No, I think so.
No,
too.
actually, Rafa and Avik are coming over to Cologne, and I might be very busy this week, but I'm going to try to put in as many games as I can. Anyway, I think people are already bored of me, at least.
Yeah, all right. I think we have a nice show, and I think it's nice to see the improvement week by week.
Do you think I improved from last week?
Yeah, you don't notice it, but you do. The only thing is still you don't listen that well, and you still are so much in your own strategies, and you make the game more complicated than it is. Certainly on your level. Sure, on the highest level, like I feel that you think 3 levels above your actual skill level, so it kind of makes no sense what you're doing. But yeah, we'll work on it, Carmac. We'll work.
Well, fair enough. Anyway, thank you guys for watching.
Yep.
Be cruel to me in the forums. Being nice to me has already become boring.
All right, and yeah, also once more, guys, I get really a lot of whispers and private messages whatsoever. Thanks a lot. It's fun that you guys enjoy it, and I'll keep my head up, and I'll get one more Master League player, perhaps to practice with you one day.
Dennis take Galen. I'm coming for you.
That's gonna take a while. All right, guys, see you out. See you, and we're out. Cheers.